kitchen. So today we're going to be making a dish called beef curry. It has tomatoes, cayenne pepper, cilantro, coriander, cumin, a lot of spices. You cook it in the Instapot. Normally it's on the stove, so I'm going to put it in the Instapot, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do the pot and pot method, where I cook rice in another pot at the same time I'm cooking the curry. This will be my first time doing it, so come along and learn with me. So I want to show you what the dish looks like when it's all done. I like to serve it with some steamed green beans. These are actually frozen, but when you steam them, they're so fresh tasting. So come along with me, let's get cooking. Let's go over the ingredients needed to make this recipe. We start out with about a 2-pound piece of meat, a chuck roast. You can see mine is a little bit over 2 pounds, but that will work out fine. 1 medium onion that we're going to chop. You can either use 2 fresh tomatoes, or I'm using a can of diced fire roasted tomatoes. Some salt and pepper. You're going to need some garlic, and I'm going to use the pre-chopped one. Otherwise you can do 4 cloves of garlic. Some ground cumin, about a teaspoon. Some Garam Masala, a teaspoon of that. Ground coriander, half a teaspoon. Some cayenne pepper. I use a half a teaspoon, but you could put more or less depending on your liking. And about a half a cup of cilantro. Here's my pot I'm going to use for my pot and pot cooking of my rice. And I'm going to use 2 cups of rice, and these are 2 rice scoop measuring cups, not 2 full cups of rice. They're a little bit smaller. They're probably about 3/4 of a cup. And I'm going to use Calrose rice. I buy this big bag at Costco. So let's go ahead and get started preparing our rice for the Instapot. Let's go ahead and rinse our rice. I pour it into the pan, give it a good rinse about 3 times till the water becomes clear. Then I'm going to add my 2 full measuring cups of water, so it's equal parts water to the rice. Now I'm going to dice up my meat about 1-inch cubes, or maybe just a little bit smaller. Get that all prepared. Sort of like stew meat size. Then I'm going to get my cutting board, a clean cutting board, and start cutting my onions. I just need to cut it into some big chunks. Doesn't have to be pretty because it's all going into the blender. So I'm going to add in my can of fire roasted tomatoes, my chopped onions. I'm also going to add in my 4 teaspoons of chopped garlic, or 4 cloves of garlic chopped and minced, and a half a cup of cilantro. Then we're going to blend it all together into a nice puree. Once it's blended nicely, we're going to add our spices. So I'm going to add in my teaspoon of cumin, my teaspoon of Garam Masala, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a half a teaspoon of coriander. Now we're going to blend it again to mix it well, and our sauce is ready to go. Let's get our Instapot ready. We're going to go ahead and hit the saute function and let the pot warm up. It's on the more function. We want it to get nice and hot. While we're waiting for it to get hot, we can start preparing our pan. We're going to put in a little bit of olive oil, pour in our meat, start browning it. I sprinkle it with a little salt and pepper. And I don't want to over brown it. I just want to lightly brown it. I continue lightly browning it. When it's done, I'm going to go ahead and add in my sauce, mix it in, put in my high standing trivet, put in my rice and my cover. Now I'm going to put on my Instapot lid, and we're going to set it for manual mode on high for about 20 minutes. And you'll see in just a few seconds it'll say on, and that's when it's going to be building pressure. Ensure you set your valve to sealing. Now that it's been resting for about 10 minutes under natural release, we're going to go ahead and do a quick release. I like to use a spoon with a hole in it to help so I don't burn myself. We're going to open the pot and take a look. Use a pot holder because it's really hot. I take off the lid of my rice, it'll be easier to grab, and look at the consistency. The rice came out just perfectly. I was very happy with this. We have our full meal cooked in the pot. So my rice is done. I'm going to remove that pan. Then I'm going to carefully take out my trivet. Make sure you don't burn yourself. Now I'm going to turn the Instapot off by hitting cancel, put it back on saute mode to finish my sauce. So now we're going to bring it to a slight boil. It's going to thicken as we do so, and we're also just really combining all the ingredients together. We're going to be, at this point, as it's starting to reduce down, start tasting the sauce to see if it meets our expectations. And after my initial taste, I think it needs a little bit more salt. And as you can see, it's starting to come to a boil or a simmer. I'm going to add a little more cayenne pepper because our family does like it a little bit spicy. Keep simmering it to the consistency that you want it, and just double check the taste. Make sure it tastes just the way you like it. And I think it needs just a hair more salt. And there you have it, our finished product, the pressure cooker beef curry in the Instapot. I hope you enjoyed my recipe. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below, and subscribe and put on your notification bell for future videos. Thank you for watching. Bye bye, see you next time.